First thoughts of the Taran 16. This is about the third paddle. It's absolute honey of a boat. It's a lot more stable than I was expecting. There's been a lot of talk about stability with this boat, and it just seems like rock solid to me. So I reckon anyone intermediate and above is going to have no problem. I haven't yet taken it over into secondary stability and a few support strokes. I'll do that when it gets a bit warmer and I've got some kit on. Knee position's really good. Get this off. Fits me like a glove. You can see that. But lots of run. I've got very short legs, so I can actually sort of get them together for a kind of low pump type thing. But the thigh grips do impede on the central space. If you want to go right together and knees up, it's not going to work. But this is an intermediate boat to deal with very difficult conditions as well as going fast. So this is pretty upright, really. Pretty upright and very nice. What's also incredible, and it just brings a smile to the face, is this rocker on the stern. I mean, it's nearly 17 foot, this boat. And if you give it some stick round the corner, it just slides like a slalom boat. It's absolutely nuts. You can see the water scudding underneath. It's an absolute hoot. I mean, it's so original to have a boat this long, so good at speed. I know, Casey, you get a rudder, so you've got to come to terms with that. Once you've got the rudder, you can take all of that deep aft section out for tracking and what have you, and you've got a boat which is just an absolute hoot. I mean, if I put this over on the edge, I sprayed it at the moment, so that's a bit odd, but it just, I can hear the water gurgling around like a snipe slalom boat. It's ridiculous. Sorry, Mr. Moorhead. Obviously disturbed him. This is where Mr. Ratty lives. It's a full tale from the riverbank here, but he's not coming out because it's Sunday and his missus needs him to make a coffee. But there's all sorts of stuff lives in here. It's not Anglesey, but it's got something. What else about the Taran? Looks. Oh yes, well, back in the early days of this, if you read back, you see a very typical sort of stuck in the mud kind of reaction to the boat. And I can appreciate how some people prefer the curvy sort of traditional, and I like that as well. I've got an Explorer and a skin on frame and stuff. I've had all sorts of pretty boats like that, but to me this is absolutely fantastic. It breaks the mould, it's new, it's exciting, and I think if you read back, there's quite a few sort of muppets who kind of really poured negativity on without really knowing much about the boat at all, which is a sad thing about sea kayaking. You know, you'd like to think we're an original free thinking bunch and we'd welcome anybody trying to do anything new. Anyway, that's all over now, and there's a lovely waiting list for these. Rudder's just crazy. I've never had a rudder before. Pull this down, let the rudder out, and doesn't seem to slow the boat down much. And I'm just getting the hang of these foot pedals, but it's absolutely nuts. I mean, just the boat's got like Jekyll and Hyde. You take the rudder up, it spins around, and I'm sure tailwinds and quartering seas and things are going to catch it. Fine, put the rudder down. But when you get the opportunity, this bag, I wonder what it's going to be like for surfing, because it's got some rails and it's got a free back end. It's not going to lock up so easy. I'm sure it's long, but it's just brilliant because it does two things at once. It's the most glorious Sunday morning, and I'm seriously not one of those people who likes to wake up in the morning and say, let's go and have lots of pain. And if it wasn't for the PSK setup, where there's objectives and a plan and the chance of getting to the sea, it takes a lot of effort from here, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be sitting with a coffee watching the birds on the bird feeder. As it is, I'm confronting an incredibly stiff back, which is telling me it doesn't like any of this. It's confronting stiff knees, which won't let me put my socks on. And it's confronting pure, abject laziness and excuses. And it gives you a reason to get out there. That chap who's just been around the Isle of Wight, bloody brilliant. John, who prefers another quick trip round Anglesey instead of an Easter egg. It makes you think. So here we go. Pear-shaped intervals. Thank you, John, for the agony. As far as speed goes, we're clicking along at 6 miles an hour, just over. A little bit of current with us, so 5.5 maybe. I'm on the rest period between intervals, so it's not really full on. Still a good speed. The F1 would be doing about 5.5 now. I was paddling down here yesterday and a very fine mist of rain started, and I realised I could hear the church bells ringing, and you can hear that across the fens here from several different parishes. And I worked out that in fact they were ringing 99 tolls for every year of Prince Philip's life, and this was a mark of respect. And so I sat in the rain, and it was quite sublime amongst these beautiful spring surroundings, paying respects to such a wonderful man, such a sad moment.